One of my first jobs out of college was at a fairly large church. It was very conservative. And I remember my boss sitting our team down, the entire staff that was in the music department. And he said, "Are you concerned about how people see you? Do you care about your reputation?" I thought about it for a minute. I was like, yeah, I actually do care. I care about how people see me, all the way down to like what I'm wearing. I want to look stylish. I feel like I am stylish. I buy clothes, I buy shoes, I buy all the nice things so that when people see me on the outside, they are going to look at me and go, "I like that guy." We put so much into our outward appearance, don't we? Even all the way down to how people perceive us. We want to be perceived or seen in a certain light. We don't want people to look at us negatively. So we'll do everything we can so that we can appear as if we have it all buttoned up so that people look at us and go, "I like that guy." But we do that at the expense of ignoring some things that are happening on the inside. And if there was a magnifying glass on the inside of people actually seeing what's down on the inside of our hearts and what's really going on, they may not say, "I like that guy." Here in Hot Topics all over the news, we've been seeing a lot of people that are going through a lot of stuff right now, right? Like Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard this week there was an alleged sexual assault case that came that puts into question for a lot of people his sexuality. But I love his answer to everyone regarding the specific nature of his sexuality. And again, I said allegedly, because you gotta say allegedly. He said this, he said, "Why do you care about what's happening in my bed? What's happening in my bed is my business." Here's that mind your business again. I just talked about that the other day. So consider this mind your business part 2. That's a great question, Dwight. Why do we care so much? Because if we actually found out what your sexuality is and if it actually meant something to us, would it pivot anything in our life? Would it change anything? Would it do something for us? No. So why do we care so much? I wonder if because it brings some kind of appeasement to our own insecurities about how we see ourselves. Maybe it's a method of distraction. It distracts us from paying attention to what we need to pay attention to in our own lives. I don't know. But I think it's a valid question. Or why do we care so much about what happened with Taye Diggs and Idina Menzel with their marriage this past week? Like, why do we care so much about these things? What are they actually doing for us? You know what I think they're doing for us? I think they're allowing us to be distracted, again, from what we need to be focusing on. Because it allows us to actually perceive someone based off how we want to be perceived. We want to feel like we got it put together, so we put someone down. It helps us to feel like we're in the know. It helps us to feel superior in a way. Oh, I'm not going through that, clearly. But I hope that we start turning the mirror around and looking within and putting focus on what's happening on the inside of us. Why is that important? Because when we do that, I think we start to offer people the mercy and the grace that they deserve, because now we know that we need it. I know I need it, and I know I ain't the only one. How you perceive yourself? How do you want to be perceived? I don't want to be perceived about how I button up myself and how I look just on the outside. I want to be perceived as authentic, as genuine, as loving, as caring. A person who's honest, who's real. A person who's never afraid to, even when I'm not having the greatest moment, to always be open. Because I think that's when we start viewing people in the right light and we view ourselves in the right light. It's more about who we're becoming. That's the question we need to be asked. What are we becoming? I think that's a better question than what's my reputation? Because if I'm focused on what I'm becoming, then I don't allow myself to get in these spaces where my insecurities exalt themselves above actually what I need to be focusing on. But I'm always focused on what I want to become, and I'm getting better and better with time. And I'm viewing people in that same light, that they're going to get better and better at time. And today, folks, that's my TOTH, Mind Your Business Part 2. How do you want to be perceived? And how do you perceive yourself?